So this guy has he has some issues that he looks like a nice guy, but he's kind of psychopathic.
Oh, he's
right?
a full psychopath. Full psychopath.
You think he's a rising star?
Oh, yeah. I
he
mean,
is
he
a
just
star.
beat Gilbert Burns.
Before we move further, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you stay locked in with everything happening in the MMA world. Let's get started. Khamzat Chimaev is deep in a high-intensity training camp that's all about relentless sparring, tough wrestling drills, endless cardio, and staying mentally sharp. He kicked things off with a complete prehab assessment, mobility corrections, and a metabolic test to make sure his training is as efficient as possible. These steps help him push at max capacity, prevent injuries, move better, and let his team fine-tune each session for top results. Chael Sonnen also spoke about Chimaev versus Plessis, saying both fighters are in for a rough night. He pointed out Plessis' underrated takedown defense and called the middleweight division the most exciting one in the UFC.
I mean, this isn't a simple fight where you go, well, go out and take him down. It's like, yeah, good luck. Go out and take him down. Yeah, it's true. And then you got to hold him there once you do it. Oh, and by the way, nobody else has taken down and held Dricus there. Like, this fight is starting to look different. The entire division is starting to look different. There's never been a time that 185 pounds has had such a spotlight on it. I'm watching this guy, Kyle Barrow, myself. I'm thinking this guy might quietly be the real assassin of that division, but that's not easy to say. I think Bo Nickel go all the way to the top. And I think that DeRinner is greatly underrated, and I don't think Sean Strickland is ready to move on just yet. Like, 185 is a really exciting proposition.
Chael Sonnen says Khamzat Chimaev will probably be the favorite, but he wonders if Khamzat can stay dominant if Plessis survives that early pressure. He thinks the longer the fight goes, the more it could swing toward Plessis.
Is it a surprise that Chimaev is a favorite? No, I would expect him to be. But I also feel as though if I were predicting this today, I would lean Chimaev. As long as you didn't ask me a follow-up question. Like if I told you, hey, I think Chimaev's going to beat Dricus. Okay, great. If we all get up and walk out of the room, we're fine. The problem is if you're going to ask me how. How is he going to beat him? Because I am not fully confident that Chimaev can take him down at will. I'm not fully confident he can keep him there. We're going to know in the very first round. If Dricus gets taken down in the first round, things are going to unravel very quickly. But if he can defend a takedown for the entire first 5 minutes, it's only going to get easier to stay on your feet after that. It's an exciting match. I would expect Chimaev to be the favorite. And he is.
Khamzat Chimaev was seen on the pads looking sharp and fully focused. He was quick, throwing hard shots and keeping a steady flow, proving he's preparing for a hard fight with clean combinations and slick footwork. Joe Rogan described Khamzat Chimaev as an incredible talent, especially at welterweight, but also brought up his struggles with cutting weight. He remembered how Khamzat powered through damage against Gilbert Burns and kept pushing.
Khamzat's a freak, man.
How about,
especially at 170.
Dude, but he can't make the weight. He's too unreliable.
He just needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Bro, 170, he's almost unstoppable. Even when Gilbert caught him on the noggin multiple times and dropped him, remember?
Yep.
Still kept going.
Still
like that guy never stopped coming.
Joe Rogan went on to say, Khamzat Chimaev is like an assassin, dangerous and relentless. He called him a big, strong fighter who hunts down his opponents with ruthless intent every time he's inside the cage.
Khamzat is an assassin. Khamzat is a terrifying human being. He's terrifying. He's really good. He's really good and really big.
I get scared at home.
You should be.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah. Khamzat's a murderer. I mean, when he gets into that octagon, he's seek and destroy. He's a dangerous man.
Khamzat Chimaev was also spotted shadowboxing with laser focus, moving smoothly and throwing fast combos. His footwork looked tight, and every strike was thrown with purpose, showing he's taking this next test seriously. Jason Mayhem Miller gave Du Plessis credit for how much he's improved, comparing modern fighters' progress to updating software. He said having a date on the calendar forces fighters to level up quickly and sharpen their skills before they step into the cage.
Du Plessis really improved in his last fight quickly. I like this new trend of fighters like completely focusing on skills and like updating their software on the way to the next fight. You know, that everybody tries to talk about fights like, oh, you learn when you don't have a fight signed. I don't think so. I think these guys are committed to learning a new skill and they have a deadline.
Jason Mayhem Miller broke down how Jack Della Maddalena used footwork and counter wrestling to beat Bilal, and said Dricus du Plessis might do something similar against Khamzat by keeping the distance right and draining his gas tank.
They have to figure it out by that day. And we saw with Jack, man, he showed up against Bilal Muhammad where his counter wrestling was there when he needed it. His footwork and jabs and straights were everywhere. And he kept into kickboxing range while Bilal Muhammad was like in boxing range. And then by the time he went to wrestle, it was over with. Like, nope, Jack had already outgassed him, and that's how it goes. I see something similar with Du Plessis and the champ.
Du Plessis, the champ,
yes,
versus Khamzat?
Yeah, Khamzat. This kind of thing is all right.
At the same time, Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan discussed how tough Khamzat Chimaev really is. Rogan pointed out how Khamzat ate 119 strikes in his first real test, a big difference from his earlier fights where nobody touched him. Tyson spoke about the tough Chechen mentality, saying their background produces fighters like Chimaev, who have that extreme drive and grit.
That he was ever really tested inside the octagon, and all the other fights that he's had 4 wins, he's been hit twice. And that's not 4 wins, he was hit twice. In this fight, he was hit like 119 times or something crazy. It was an amazing fight.
Listen, didn't we just read about the Chetnians?
Yeah,
what
we
kind
just
of
did.
mentality
Yeah.
they are?
Tough
That's
people,
their
man.
mentality too.
Yeah.
And you know what they do for entertainment? They wrestle bears and they no, listen. I've been there. I traveled. I stayed there. I've been there. I know the president ran that.
Mike Tyson added that while Khamzat seems friendly outside the cage, there's a dark, intense side once he's fighting. Tyson even called him a psychopath in the octagon, aggressive, fearless, and driven by something deeper. He called Khamzat one of the scariest new stars in MMA, mixing raw strength with elite skill, which makes him exciting and dangerous to watch.
This guy has some issues that he looks like a nice guy, but he's kind of psychopathic.
Oh, he's
right?
a full psychopath. Full psychopath.
You think he's a rising star?
Oh, yeah. I
he
mean,
is a
he
star.
just
He is a
beat
star.
Gilbert Burns.
Jason Mayhem Miller also pointed out that Du Plessis has a big challenge trying to figure out Khamzat Chimaev's blend of European-style kickboxing and top-level grappling. He said this fight will probably come down to who's in the best shape. The one with the better conditioning will likely win.
Do you counter wrestle? Do you find your striking exchanges working when you push the guy backwards? And can you do that without overshooting and getting taken down? Do you want to get taken down and make a scramble and this? No, probably not. Du Plessis has work cut out for him. Like, he has to kind of figure this enigma out of a dude who can kickbox pretty good with this European style kickboxing and also really high level grappling. I don't know. I think it'll come down to who's in the best shape, who's the best conditioned. That's really the end of that. Happy birthday, August 16th. We're going to see that one.
Mayhem said he slightly favors Khamzat Chimaev, explaining that Khamzat has something extra from years of early training. He talked about Khamzat's deep grappling background and his calm under pressure. While Du Plessis is a good grappler too, Chimaev's experience gives him a natural feel for it. Mayhem added that Du Plessis had to bulk up his frame, while Chimaev is naturally a big guy, which might be an advantage. But he admitted Du Plessis could still pull off an upset.
You lean a little more towards one or the other right now?
Yeah, Chimaev, you know, because he has like this special ingrained, and I say this because you start the kids young and they just get a little extra something, you know, there's a little bit of extra feel. There's another 10,000 hours put on top of their athleticism because they've been doing this for so long, grappling especially. And Du Plessis is an excellent grappler, but what it comes down to is being able to relax during those grappling exchanges and not use that much energy. His body is big, but he's like a bigger human being, not necessarily just a big muscle-bound guy like Duplessis. Like Duplessis has the frame of a lighter man, but has put on muscle to compete at the higher weight class. Chimaev might have an edge, might be an upset there.
Ariel Helwani said he expects Dricus du Plessis to make adjustments as the fight goes on. He believes du Plessis might want the fight to go long so he can read Khamzat Chimaev's moves and adapt. While the early exchanges could be rough, Helwani thinks du Plessis is tough enough to handle it and maybe turn things around later.
I think he takes him to deep water and he figures it out, and I think it's like a learning lesson for him and all this stuff.
Kamaru Usman also shared his thoughts on the middleweight scene, warning people not to underestimate Khamzat Chimaev. He said Chimaev's dominant performance against Robert Whittaker shows how good he is. Usman praised du Plessis for beating 3 former champions and reminded fans that every fighter deserves respect for the risks they take.
And just lastly, who do you see taking the belt at 185?
At 185? Listen, I told you guys, don't sleep on Khamzat. When he was fighting Robert Whittaker, everyone said, oh yeah, Whittaker is going to get him. Hey, don't sleep on him. Khamzat's extremely talented, extremely strong. He can shock anyone. But Dricus du Plessis, you can't sleep on him as well. He's the champion for a reason, taking out 3 champions back to back to back. So, hey, respect to all those guys. I respect every one of these fighters. I know people at home were spectators and were fans, and they like to just kind of talk. Oh, he had a bad performance. He had a boring one. But, hey, you have to respect each and every one of these guys that's willing to get in here, in little bitty gloves and damn near underwear and bare their soul in here. So you have to respect that.
Rainier de Ritter said, Dricus du Plessis doesn't get enough credit going into this fight. He noted that du Plessis doesn't always look the cleanest, but somehow finds a way to win. He also praised how du Plessis tends to get better late in the fight, often flipping things when everyone least expects it.
Khamzat versus du Plessis. Predictions?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are underestimating Dricus right now. If you look at fights they've had, it looks a bit sloppy when Dricus fights, but he always gets them. He gets better as longer as the rounds go on.
Rainier de Ritter said he believes du Plessis can survive Khamzat Chimaev's early attacks. If he can avoid serious damage early on, the momentum could swing his way. De Ritter even said du Plessis might be able to finish the fight late, but admitted it all comes down to what happens when they lock up.
And I think he can survive that early onslaught of Khamzat. So I think Dricus can pull the win out. Maybe a late finish, 4th or 5th round. But we'll see.
Darren Till gave his prediction, saying that although he's not a fan of du Plessis' wild style, he respects his ability to win. Still, Till is backing Chimaev to get the job done. He thinks Khamzat's intense training and sharp mindset will lead to a finish within 2 rounds, and that mental edge will be the key to victory.
Beats Khamzat, your boy.
No, look, with respect, I'm never going to look past Dricus because he trains hard, he's super dedicated, he's super strong, and he's got that awkward style that doesn't make any sense. I think Khamzat will beat him inside the 2 rounds. I really do believe that. But look, Khamzat knows. I was speaking to Khamzat on the FaceTime the other day because I'm meant to be going out to Dubai to help with the camp. Khamzat knows it's a tough fight, but, Khamzat trains like a beast. I do think Khamzat gets it in 2 rounds done.
Alexander Gustafsson praised Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling and grappling skills. He admitted du Plessis could have a slight size advantage, but said Chimaev's strength will more than make up for it. Gustafsson said the gap in grappling skills might be the deciding factor when they face off.
You're 2-3 weight classes above him. How strong is he? Because I've seen he's a good training partner for you.
Yeah, no, he's very natural, strong, and he has very strong genes, and he just comes with raw power. All his power just comes from nature.
Just natural. Right?
Natural, yeah. So guys, to get the full All-Stars experience.
Coach Eric Nixick spoke about Dricus du Plessis, calling him disciplined and always prepared. He talked about how du Plessis has grown since fighting Brad, saying that development made him champion material. Some people see his movement as awkward, but Nixick said it's actually intentional, built from focused training. He explained that Duplessis' weird timing and non-stop pressure can break opponents' rhythm, so the best way to beat him is to take him down early and stay on top before he settles in.
Curious to how Khamzat and DDP plays out. I feel like DDP's going to be able to weather the storm the first 2 rounds and then start taking off the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. What do you think?
I do too. I've studied DDP a bunch. Super respectful, nice guy. He's very well coached. Just his overall development, he's jumped leaps and bounds in between that Brad fight to now being world champion. People think it looks erratic, but it's not. It's very calculated what he's trying to do. It's a lot of those same reps that he does, but there's a motion to him that's kind of hard to gather rhythm. How do you eliminate all that? Take a guy down, put him on his back.
John Wood is picking Dricus du Plessis to beat Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. He expects a tough, action-packed fight, but thinks du Plessis' awkwardness, power, and strength give him the edge. Wood brushed aside any old cardio worries, saying they're no longer an issue. He believes du Plessis can handle Chimaev's early pressure and get the finish if the fight goes into the later rounds.
Again, kind of like the Pena-Harrison fight, I'm going to go with Dricus on this one. I'm going to go with Dricus in a gritty, dirty, nasty fight. He's going to have a rough couple rounds, but I think he's going to stick around. I don't think he's an easy guy to finish. It's an awkward style. He's strong. He's big. You know, cardio issues I don't think are a thing anymore. I think that he is going to get deep into that fight, and I think he finishes him.
Edmund Shabazian shared his take, saying the early rounds will likely decide everything. He thinks Chimaev's best chance is to end it within 2 rounds with his aggressive grappling, but he leans slightly toward du Plessis because of his toughness and awkward style that might help him survive early trouble and swing the fight his way later. He called it a close fight where both men will push forward in their own ways.
Actually, I think if it's the first 2 rounds, I think Chimaev, if he doesn't finish him in the first 2 rounds, du Plessis should take it. But if it's in the first 2 rounds, if Chimaev's going to win, it's going to be in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. What's your official pick?
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of want to lean towards DDP because he's a tough dude, man, and he's just so awkward, and you never know, he might scramble out of those like positions Chimaev puts him in. But Chimaev is a dog too, man. The guy doesn't stop, and he's relentless with his grappling.
Caio Baralho talked about the matchup too, saying it's not an easy one to predict. He admitted du Plessis often proves people wrong when they doubt him, but he also said Chimaev's early pressure is a real threat. If Khamzat finishes it quickly, he wins, but if it drags out, du Plessis could take over. Caio said he slightly leans toward Chimaev, but wouldn't be shocked if du Plessis surprises everyone again.
Hard one, because every time I bet against DDP, he shut my mouth. So it's hard, but he's facing Khamzat. You know, Khamzat is very hard in the first or second round, so I think he can get it done real fast. But all the way, if not done real fast, I think Dricus, you're gonna make him have a hard night. So I'll go Khamzat. Maybe Dricus will shut my mouth again, but I'll go Khamzat.
Bilal Muhammad weighed in too. Despite his past beef with Khamzat, he showed some support, but noted Chimaev hasn't faced many high-level wrestlers lately, just strikers. He said Khamzat has shown some holes in his grappling and that du Plessis' toughness and wrestling could cause problems. Bilal added that Chimaev's cardio won't matter if he finishes early, but doubts du Plessis will go down that fast because he's so durable.
Du Plessis. But when you're looking at the guys he fought stylistically, right? He hasn't fought a guy who trying to take him down yet. It's all been strikers. His last two, it's Adesanya and Strickland. Like when he fought Brunson was killing him the first couple rounds. Yeah. And he just gassed. You know, we've seen him get taken down by Brunson. We've seen him get taken down by Whitaker. He's gotten taken down by guys so easily. That's why I think Chimaev's going to walk through.
I know that's your boy, but Khamzat has got some of the worst cardio in the entire company.
You don't need cardio if you finish the guy in 2 minutes.
But Dricus isn't going to get finished. He's got an iron chin and an iron will.
Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson gave his thoughts on the middleweight title fight, saying whoever controls the pace will have the edge. He thinks du Plessis might do well on the feet if he avoids Chimaev's wrestling. Johnson noted Chimaev has shown signs of slowing down in later rounds, and du Plessis' awkward striking could cause real problems. But he also said Chimaev's grappling will always be dangerous, so du Plessis has to be ready to defend takedowns to keep the fight standing.
Chimaev cannot get him down.
He will, but yeah.
But let's say he does get him down.
Yep.
And he doesn't finish him, right? I think he's spent. Because you look at his fights. You look when he fought Gilbert Burns, when he fought Kamaru Usman. He had Kamaru Usman fully mounted, back hooks and everything, right?
Yep.
Working for the choke, pounding him. could not finish him.
Couldn't get.
The rest of the time, he could not find it was shadow boxer. Granted, he might be sick or whatever.
Yep.
But if he cannot figure it out within those first 2 rounds or the first round he gets him down, I think DDP is gonna do what he does best.
Yep.
He's gonna be awkward. He's gonna be ha ha ha, do the kicks, and I think DDP is gonna beat him.
Yeah.
Like
I could see it.
I think Khamzat Chimaev is more athletic, more traditional, but I think that awkwardness of the old what did he say? The lanky man style.
Yep.
I think DDP is gonna put it in the bag.
That wraps up today's video. What do you think about this matchup? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you like this one, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Check out our other videos on screen right now.